Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Yaniv, I'm the CEO of Soomla. My company got acquired by ironSource not too long ago, and today I'm here to talk to you about content versus UX, the DNA of successful creatives. Not sure if you know this, 30 to 40% of any successful game company's revenue goes back into marketing, and this has been like that for some time now. Any successful game company invests a ton of money into marketing budgets. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes. What's more new is that 7 to 15% of that marketing budget goes into creative production. That is a newer trend. It's been like that for the last 2 years or so, and it's a super important trend that we're going to talk a bit about today. And there are two reasons for that mainly. One is that algorithms of the media companies, the companies who sell you the media, Facebook, Google, ironSource, AppLovin, are super optimized these days. So marketers have less to do with picking keywords and optimizing bids like they used to in past days. In today's world, the algorithms actually do this for you. And this means that a marketer has more time to invest in creative production. What's more important is that the algorithms are actually super optimized, so a winning creative gets automatically pushed to the top. It means that a winning creative gets the campaign delivering like crazy, and if you find a creative that performs 5% better even than the other creatives, your campaigns will start delivering, but as a byproduct, you'll also suffocate the competition, which is pretty much the dream of any marketer. So creative production and finding winning creative is super important these days, and companies spend a lot of time and money in finding winning creatives like that. Just to give you an example, playable ad, a single playable ad takes $5,000 to produce. If you outsource it, this is the market price. If you do it internally, it's about almost the same, and it takes about 2 weeks to produce. So this means that if you want to find winning creative, it's not just enough to do one. You need to try different variations and experiment. So if you want to produce 100 playable ads or even 100 video ads, it's going to take a lot of money. Just the production costs will take a lot of money. And then on top of that, you need testing budgets, which is another cost. And then until you find the winning creative, you're basically wasting time. So that increases the time to market of that winning creative. And on top of that, there is effort and costs of labor. So the trial and error system is not great for finding a winning creative. And this is why most gaming companies actually try to learn from their competition and in generally from other gaming companies in the app ecosystem. And they try to find what the creatives of the other companies look like. And pretty much every successful gaming company that I know in the app ecosystem has some platform that shows that company the creatives of the competition. There are at least half a dozen platforms I can name that will show you the creatives of the competitors, and you can then learn from them and leverage concepts. But what's also important is to understand, first of all, what are the winning creatives? What are the creatives that are performing? And this is actually harder to understand with existing solutions in the market today, and that is important. And the other piece is what in the ad actually makes the ad work. And when we think about an ad, we can think about two sides to the ad. One of the sides is the content and the creative that has been, I would say, overemphasized in past times. So when we look at the creative, we tend to look at what the ad looks like. The other piece that is as important, if not more important, is the user experience, the UX of the ad. Basically, the trigger areas, the trigger timing, the interactive components, and we can talk about each one of them specifically. So trigger areas would be where on the screen the user can click, and that would take him to the App Store. What areas would be counted as interactions with the playable components, what will actually click into the App Store. Same for timing. Some ads might have 5 seconds where the user can play with the interactive components, and then after 5 seconds would trigger the App Store. So the timing of when does a click or an interaction counts as an intent to get to the App Store, and when is it just engagement with the ad is also important. And of course, any interactive component would be part of the UX of the ad. And we'll talk a bit more about all these examples now. Before we get to examples, one area to understand is what actually drives the UX of the ad. So with a video ad is a static asset. It's stupid in a way. And this means that the UX of the ad is actually being controlled by the network that delivers the ad. Some networks have configuration that an advertiser can apply. Sometimes you will have to ask the network to change the configuration of the UX of the ad. With a video ad, this is completely controlled by the network serving technology. Whereas in playable ad, it's very different, because playable ad is a piece of code, and that gives the advertiser a lot more control, a lot more flexibility about the UX of the ad, and it can basically do pretty much about anything. So with the playable ad, the control of the UX is with the advertiser, or at least the studio who made the playable ad on the advertiser behalf. We're getting into the fun part. So this part is more of a quiz that we made. I'm going to walk you through some examples. I'm going to be the quizee and the quizzer. I'm going to ask the questions and then answer them. But we structured it as a quiz, so just to make it a bit more fun. So here, 2 ads that are exactly the same, or are they? The content is exactly the same, but the UX is actually quite different. We can see that the CTR of one ad is 40% and the other one is 21%. So the difference between these ads is actually not the content, is in the UX. And let's see what is the difference. The difference is in the click areas. One of the ad, the left side, that one had kind of more liberal approach about what areas would click to the store versus what areas would not. And of course, it only won in the sense of higher CTR. It could be that the clicks didn't convert after, but this is definitely an area that would be good to experiment with and understand if you found a winning creative, not just what the ad looks like, but actually what the UX of the ad is about. Second example, again, same ad, or same content, but different UX. On the left side, 12 IPM, which means 12 installs for every 1,000 impressions. And on the right-hand side, only 8 installs for every 1,000 impressions. So massive difference in performance of the ad. And let's see what's the difference between them. Drum roll. And the left side had direct click to the store, whereas the right-hand ad had a playable interaction. So both kind of look like you can play with them, and actually the call to action says click here to do something, but the left-hand ad, as the user clicks, would directly take the user to the App Store. If you want to play, just download our app and play with it. So this is not necessarily true for any ad, but with this ad, it's actually not the content that made the difference, but actually the interaction. Third example, and the one before last, again, same but different, same content, different UX, and the left-hand ad had high deliverability, which means it was delivering the budget like crazy. The algorithms of the ad networks favored it and pushed it to the top, which is obviously the goal of many creatives, and the right-hand side didn't manage to do so. So difference between them, again, the UX. The left-hand ad directly, when the user clicked on it, it opened the in-app dialog to install the app, and the right-hand ad was a full redirect to the App Store. So obviously left-hand ad had less friction to install and probably produced higher performance, but what we checked here is the deliverability. Last example, and again here, same content, different UX, and all the KPIs are totally different and in favor of the left side ad. We can see the CTR is higher, the QCTR is higher, and the IPM is higher as well. A few words on QCTR. QCTR is similar to CTR in the sense that it's click-through rate, but only qualified or quality clicks gets counted. So this is something we sort of invented in Soomla. It means that if the user clicked on an ad and bounced back right away, it wouldn't be counted in the QCTR ratio, and in the CTR it would be counted. So it's kind of like a more qualified ratio of CTR. And again, the left-hand side is the winning one, and let's see the difference here. So the left-hand side had a playable end card, and the right-hand side had no end card. So UX is different a bit. More importantly, understanding that it's not just the main component of the ad that matters, but you actually need to check all the components of the ad to understand what made it work. So before we end the presentation, I want to leave you with some takeaways. First of all, and we talked about this in the first part of the presentation, I cannot overemphasize the importance of winning creatives in today's mobile game ecosystem. If you find a winning creative, your campaigns will get delivered and you'll crush the competition. Second one, UX is as important, if not more important, than the content and the creative of the ad, and this part gets often forgotten. And the third one, you want to use data to analyze the competitor creative. So don't just look at the creatives of everyone. Find the winning creative, understand their performance, understand their KPIs, and also analyze and understand what makes them work, because this is the part that you want to leverage in your own creatives. So that's it for today. If you want to hit me up with questions, my LinkedIn profile link is in the bio section of LevelUp, and just shoot me a message. And it was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. Maybe you learned something. So thank you for joining, and have a great day.